How we create SMART goals at Quintella is done early on in the year. At the very beginning of the year, we get together as a department. We get together with our administrator, our instructional coach, and our department chair, and we look at the data from the previous year. And based on that data, we determine what our specific goals are. And that's part of SMART goals. You need to make sure the goals are specific, they're measurable, and attainable as well. And so when we're looking at if it's attainable, we're going to look at a time frame that's going to be realistic for the students to achieve it. And so we might set a goal that's based on the action plan of the school that's going to be for the entire year from September, let's say, to May. And then also there's shorter goals that would be for the semester. Make sure that we're looking at interventions that need to be made. Are they realistic? And to go back and revisit those goals as we're going through the year. It does no good at the very end of the year to say, okay, did we reach our goal? When we could have changed our process, the interventions that we were doing for the students as well. And we might need to do different tiering of the students to provide them that extra support they need in order to reach the goals. The SMART goals is not only for the teacher, but it's for the students as well, because I do have my students write their own SMART goals, and they do weekly reflections and reflections after common assessments to see if they feel like they have achieved their goal or if they need additional support. And all these things, when we're doing like checking for understanding in classrooms, that helps us support our interventions that we do before school and during the classroom period to support the progress and achievement of the SMART goals for the students.
Well, the way I plan SMART goals is mainly through backwards planning. If I know what my end goal is, then I can break that goal up into smaller goals that are more attainable throughout the unit, throughout the week, and even by day. So that's the first thing that I will do to create SMART goals, is to backwards plan. But then also every class is different in what they need. So going through at the end of the day their exit ticket, their MRS responses, I can alter those goals for the next day so that they're still in line with my end goals, but they're more, I can break them down into some smaller attainable goals.
In order to create SMART goals, the first thing you do is perform a needs assessment. And in performing that needs assessment, there's a few things that have to be taken into consideration. First and foremost, data. Not just student data, but also data that as it relates to climate, as it relates to any and everything that has to do with that learning environment. And in taking that information, partnering it, of course, with your resources, which number one, of course, being money, your finances and things like that. Then going ahead and deciding what are some things that can be done, what's the timeliness in which it needs to get done, what's the feasibility of those things getting done.
At specific objectives, we look at students that are at risk, we look at areas of need, because we will do a needs assessment, and then we go ahead and meet as departments and we go ahead and start brainstorming and looking at and seeing at a curriculum, what areas did we not touch upon, what areas need to be touched upon a little bit more, and then we start putting a timeline together, instructional calendar as far as the objectives, the standards we need to meet, and when we're going to go ahead and be touching upon those, how we're going to assess them. And then the big thing with SMART goals is that you need to go ahead and have some type of indicator of success. So how are we going to know that we are achieving that? So that is